Can you start by telling us a little bit about where you fit into this astonishing slice of cinema?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's a very large story. So my section, I'm a character called Simone, and I'm in a family, and basically without saying too much, you know, there's some dodgy dealings with money, and there's some bribery involved, and, you know, like anything else, everything comes crashing down, without saying too much.
You're working with a master storyteller in Steven Soderbergh. Can you talk a little bit about what makes him so special and your experiences on set?
Oh gosh, I think it's the attention to detail. I think that when you're on set with him, you just, and everything seems to fall into place, but it's because everything has been worked through, and you know, it's just the attention to detail, which I think I knew when I was walking onto set with him, so I definitely prepared myself in the same way I thought he prepares himself. So yeah, it was great.
And talking about greatness, obviously Meryl Streep is undisputably the finest actress of her generation. Why do you think that is? And can you talk a little bit about what it means for you to be in a film led and championed by her?
You know, it's even hard for me to still put into words. I still can't believe that I work with her. But, you know, I think that she was obviously an incredible actor. But I think also her personality is what has got her, you know, where she is today as well, because she's so warm on set. She makes everyone feel comfortable. She's just a fantastic talent.
And audiences get to see the film here at TIFF and beyond the festival. What are you hoping they take away from it? Because obviously this is funny, but there's some serious issues beneath the surface.
Yeah, and this is a global issue that has affected so many people around the world. I think there's a lot of people that it's affected, they don't even know it's affected them. So I think, you know, there is a comedic element involved, but I think that's, you know, necessary to make the story exciting, you know, and it does talk about the seriousness of the Panama Papers, and that, you know, the Panama Papers talked about something that had been brought down, but this is something that is still ongoing. You know, the financial industry isn't as, you know, open as we'd like it to be. So, yeah.
My final question, what does it mean for you to bring the film here to TIFF and be a part of this beautiful celebration of cinema?
It's amazing. I love TIFF. This is my first time here. Everyone talks about TIFF and it's being their favorite festival, and I think it's mine because everyone here is in good spirits. The city is buzzing. It's buzzing, and yeah, it's just a good time.
It's like a big puzzle, this film. My character's called Miranda. She's African, super wealthy, brilliant, maybe housewife, you could say. And she works very hard to live the perfect life and to not ask questions about where the money comes from. But there is her husband's he's full of secrets, shall we say, and when she discovers one of the secrets, it means that she may lose that wealth and that money, so she has to ask herself which matters more, I guess.
Of course, you're working with a master storyteller in Steven Soderbergh in a film that stars the greatest actress of a generation, Meryl Streep. Can you talk about each of them and what makes them both so very special and important storytellers?
They are fantastically committed to telling the story, and it was really wonderful to see how confident and playful and spontaneous they were. Working with Meryl, you know, I'm sure a lot of actors would say is a bit of a dream, but very quickly you just felt like you were working with another actor who was very open to what you had to offer and very playful and easy to bounce off.
Talking about balance, can you talk about how this film balances a comedic tone with the underpinning of some quite serious subject matter?
I think it's looking at another way to make an audience engaged. I think we're sort of overwhelmed at the moment with so many serious issues, and I think it's sort of maybe by playing with structure and form and kind of saying you can enjoy this too, we're not lecturing you, it invites the audience to feel they're a part of the issue as well, I guess.
I play Charles in Laundromat. He's a billionaire businessman who kind of goes through life kind of trying to figure out his problems with money. And a problem arises in the film, and he may try to deal with it in a way that he normally does. I don't want to give away too much, but it's a really fun film. And I think the Panama Papers is a subject that is very serious and complicated and technical and financial, and I think Steven Soderbergh does a really great job of making it light, making it funny, in order to make the subject matter that would be otherwise hard to swallow palatable, so you can digest what's going on. Because if I was to try and explain to you now what a shell company is, you'd be like, you'd switch off after 2 minutes. But he does such a great job of storytelling that you stick with the story and understand perfectly what's going on. I think documentaries have their place, and I think they're important too. But I also think that that things like this, where entertainment happens, I think sometimes comedians, when they make you laugh, make you think about the subject more because you've laughed about it and it gets past your defenses and you digest it a little bit down the line.
And so obviously this is one of the finest casts we've ever seen. Can you talk about some of your fondest and most precious memories from set?
Oh man, this is an amazing cast to work with. I mean, to be included in a cast with Meryl Streep, Gary Oldman, Antonio Banderas, Jeffrey Wright, it's just an amazing thing, and it's just something that I will hold dear to my heart for years to come. And you know, something that I've always wanted to be part of. It was great. I got to work with Antonio on set, and I got to work with Nikki, Amuka-Bird, and Jessica Allain, and for me, it was an experience that was highlighted and brought together by the director as well, because he has such an amazing work ethic, and he knows exactly what he wants, exactly how he's going to get it. So you as an actor, you have to be like seriously prepared, because you might only get 2-3 takes at what you're going to do, because he might only need a couple of angles. So it really tested my mettle, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to film this.
Is that what makes your profession so exciting?
Absolutely. I think one of the great things about doing my job is that it doesn't feel like a job, because you never go to the office and have the same day twice. Every even if you're working on one film, every scene is going to be different. If you work on another film, it's going to be totally different. Like before Laundromat, I did Guava Island with Childish Gambino and Rihanna, and then before that I worked on a Disney movie with little kids running around shooting fairy guns. You know, so for me, it's been an amazing experience. This past year has been really amazing. Coming off a TV show that I was running on for a long time, I ended up doing a series of films, and this is one of them, and it's been an amazing experience.
Thank you.
Obviously, I guess, just finally, this is a film that has a comedic tone, but it deals with some serious subject matter. What are you most hoping an audience takes away from it overall?
I hope that what the audience takes away from this is that they become aware of regulation that needs to be passed. I think financial regulation, tax regulation, that makes it become a level playing field for everybody. And that not only if you make billions of dollars, that you have to pay the same percentage in tax terms as people that make $20,000 a year, $12,000 a year. I think once you have that level playing field, you will then be able to move forward in a way that you really can have the American dream or the capitalist dream, where you can build. And I think that's the message that I hope people take from this, and still be entertained as well.
Can you start by telling us a little bit both about the narrative journey of this film and some of the complex themes that the story elucidates?
Sure. Well, I wrote a book called Secrecy World about the Panama Papers investigation, and really using the Panama Papers as a vehicle to explain the evolution of this offshore system through which trillions of dollars of illicit cash flows every year. And in the process of writing this book, I teamed up with Scott Burns, who's a brilliant screenwriter, and Steven Soderbergh, the director, and they wanted to do a movie on the topic. And their perspective, their take on it was to do a sort of comedic, a dark comedic version of it, which was perfect. It's not a journalistic thing. They were fascinated about the world and sort of what motivates people to evade taxes and set up these companies and do all these things. And so they made the movie.
Talking about perfection, you can't get a better leading lady than Meryl Streep. Can you talk a little bit about what you think fans can expect from her performance and how it feels to have her starring in your film?
I mean, it's unbelievable. What they can expect from Meryl is what she does in every single thing that she performs in. Utter commitment, incredible focus, and then she will just take you along for the ride. She's an unbelievable actress. And when I found out that she was going to be in the movie, it was an extraordinary moment. It was just a dream come true.
I think obviously the issues that this film touches upon are quite often hard to put a human face on. What are you hoping audiences do take away from this version of the story that you've been telling in book form before?
I mean, I think what they're going to see is that this really affects everybody. And and that it's not about specific individuals or a few bad actors. It's a system. And that there's a lot of complicity all over. I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is one of, if not the biggest tax haven in the world is the United States of America, and that's clear in the movie. And so it's, I think people are going to learn a lot. It's going to open a lot of eyes.
My final question, can you just tell us a little bit about what it's like working with Steven and what you think makes him such a very special and important storyteller?
I mean, it was such a joy and privilege to watch him work. He is so... He's so efficient at what he does. He's so focused. He moves very quickly. He's his own cinematographer, so he's actually editing as he goes, and he's just got a really strong vision. But it's not an imposition. It's a collaborative effort. I mean, there's a reason why he is such a giant in the industry, and it's because he's a genius.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh? Hey You Guys. Is that from the Goonies? Nice.
Hey